Provisions, we create savory and lightly sweetened nut blends. They're paleo and keto friendly, so they're all gluten, grain, dairy free. We never have more than 2, max 3 grams of added sugar per serving. And it's a crunchy plant-based protein that you can use for every single meal of your day. So what inspired me to start Harper and Soul Provisions came out of an autoimmune diagnosis. I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's a few months after I had my daughter Harper. In the second trimester of my pregnancy, I had some massive inflammation start, and so bad that I couldn't hold a pen, I couldn't type, I couldn't put any pressure on my hands, I had to stop practicing yoga. And my doctor said that it was something common in pregnancy that would go away shortly after I had her, but it didn't. And I was in so much pain bending my arms, I thought I was gonna drop her when I was nursing. So I ended up switching over to a functional medicine doctor who was able to get to the bottom of what was happening. And I went through this new mom fear of everything can kill me and my family, and wanted to be in charge of everything that we put into our bodies. But it needed to taste really good and not like lawn clippings when you eliminate just about everything besides protein and vegetables and fat. And I have a child and a gluten-forward husband, so I got really creative in the kitchen, creating these alternatives for my family. And the more I talked with people that had the same issues, we were all really tired of eating food that was just good enough for whatever your allergen was. And I wanted to create foods that just tasted damn good. I didn't grow up in a family where I ever saw any woman work. I grew up in a very old Texas patriarchal lifestyle. And so I spent a lot of my life knowing I wanted to create and do something, but not having seen what that could look like made me feel like it wasn't possible. So even when I started this, I still wasn't sure what it would look like to make that possible, but I felt such a deep sense of like parental responsibility to model a different life for Harper. If Harper wants to be a stay-at-home mom the way that I always saw, amazing, that's her choice. But I didn't know how to provide her innately the space and choice to do whatever she wants if I wasn't doing it myself. Doing this has made me a way better mom because I get to show her what I'm creating. I get to show her what it looks like to be a strong woman. We are open conflictors in our home because it's important for her to see what healthy communication looks like when you are in an interpersonal relationship. So I love feeling like I'm doing the right thing for her to show her what she can do when she grows up. And she gets to be part of it right now. Secondarily, the part that's totally selfish for me is I'm really passionate about living as vibrantly as we can. And going through my healing journey, I realized how much of that starts with food and how we take care of our bodies. And I believe that sugar is the greatest legal drug we have in this country. And it's really easy for people to not think that they are not taking care of their bodies when everywhere you look, people are pushing crap. And so I love that I get to introduce what I think is a higher vibrating way of living and nourishing your body in a way that may be non-traditional, but introduce it to people who are excited about how good it tastes, that it can make your life easier. So we have 5 current flavors right now. We've had 6, pulled one from the holiday. And so I have 2 favorites. My favorite would be our ginger snap. I call it my catnip. I hardly even bring it home from my kitchen because it's unlikely it will make it from the kitchen to my front door on the ride home. And that one was a big baby of mine. I couldn't get the flavor the way that I wanted to. I'm really particular about picking active ingredients that have healing benefits in addition to tasting really good. and using just like a store-bought ginger root powder didn't transfer the flavor I wanted. It wasn't authentic, and you miss that spicy burn that makes ginger so great, in my opinion. So we switched to this process where we actually do a 24-hour infusion of whole ginger with small batch Vermont maple syrup, and then we take that ginger out and we dry it to make our own scratch candied ginger, but that's way lower sugar than the typical crystallized ginger. So that one is dear to me because it was such a process, and I just like couldn't be like more delighted in the end result. But then I also love making our rosemary maple, which has that same infusion process, but nobody in town can supply the amount of rosemary that we use every single week. So I literally drive around with pruning shears in my car, and whenever I see like a big, wild, obviously organic batch, I just pull over on the side of the road and like fill up a trash bag of it. So it is definitely local and like seed to plate.